Before we get started today, I just want to play back a little bit of fun audio. Rhys knows what it's about because he sent it on. He sent it on to the rest of us. So I just wanted to share it with the listeners. Now, Rhys obviously shares his wonderful tones, not only with doing the traffic, which we bring up all the time, but also commentating rugby league. Last weekend, I couldn't make the game, but Rhys was commentating my sister playing in our one of our local women's competitions, and was kind enough to give myself and my brother a little bit of a mention.
30 metres out from the try line now. Lewis again with the ball. Making some good metres.
There's my sis.
Just under 20 out now.
Lewis's brothers claiming her kicking style was all theirs, both of them on the Twitters the other day.
Oh, really?
Wouldn't have thought so.
Yeah, that was fun. I'm good mates with the Lewis boys, and let me tell you, I don't think they'll disagree when I say Jamie Lewis is much better at football than they are.
Absolutely.
They won't disagree with me. Back towards the middle.
She straight away
now with the ball.
agreed with me. Absolutely she is. You
But all
don't
time-
even know them.
Yeah.
You've never seen them play football.
No, Mitch. No. Bring it down. Bring it down. Not
Jesus,
that one.
again, what?
Come on. I mean, I've only got one chance to do this, so of course I'm going to do it now. Play this instead. Play it instead.
Sounded like Tim Burton's Batman.
No, it's Guy Pearce, Memento. This is the theme song from Memento.
Hang on, whoa. Can I, what? Hang on.
Chris Nolan.
Are you plugging a
Memento?
Christopher Nolan film?
Don't bring that up. Just bring in the Guy Pearce.
Bring in your phone. Bam. I'll happily play this.
Do your bloody intro.
Maddie loves Christopher Nolan. This is the one that got him the Batman movie. Not really. What's this?
Yeah, I don't remember
What is
that
this? What have you done?
I
What is
don't-
this?
I
This
like
is
the
Star Trek
theme song.
Jesus. The line has to be drawn there.
This was an episode of Star Trek. This was an episode of Star Trek. Had to do it.
I had to do this
Have to
too.
do this, baby.
I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, from the get-go, it's
Kill it,
way
Mitch.
too happy for a
Please
Christopher
kill it.
Nolan film.
Play the real
Is that the music from Star Trek or just that episode?
The first part was literally from Memento, and then
Right.
the second part was the opening sequence to Deep Space Nine. Because I knew that Brendan would know the Voyager one, so I went with the one that he hasn't watched yet.
I just watched the first episode.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
I was wondering why you're so depressed.
not very good.
That and no grog for a few weeks.
Yeah, jeez, it's killing me. Fucking kill me now.
Damo Edwards is doing dry July as well.
It's not worth it.
It's not, mate. I could have told you that.
You went sober for a year.
Yeah, I know. Dry,
I know, I was
dry
there.
2017. It's not worth it.
This is episode 131. We are talking Stargate SG-1. The full Get Into Geek team is here. My name's Mitch. Joining me, Matty.
Ba-ba-ba-bow.
Jesus, that's two.
No, that was just my hip-hop air horn. Ba-ba-ba-bow.
Good save.
Brendan.
Memento, one of the great movies.
And Rhys.
G'day, guys.
Rhys is our first-time viewer of Stargate SG-1. If you're new to the show, he is watching each and every episode for the very first time each and every week. The rest of us long-term fans of Stargate, so we're joining him a bit of a nostalgic look, a bit of a first-time look, and we're just breaking down the glory that is Stargate SG-1.
If you're new
right
to the
here.
show and this is your first episode, that opening made no sense
Not
to
at
you.
all.
You probably clicked off because that was a mess.
Yes.
You were just like, what are
Maybe-
these guys doing?
Maybe they're Star Trek fans and you held on to
Oh, I
them.
hope so. Come on, guys.
the hooked.
We need to build an army.
Zzz, got one. Okay, let's see what the old synopsis says about this episode. Throw it over to Rhys and see what he thought. SG-1 accompanies the X-53 on its maiden voyage
You're
into
joking.
deep space.
What is it?
X-53. My ass.
Well, this is, what,
X-53.
this is what's on the paper. I'm rum burgundy here.
X-53?
When the ship suddenly drops out of hyperspace, SG-1 is stranded with no means of getting back to Earth. Their only option lies in exploring a nearby planet where a Stargate is thought to be located, but O'Neill must first convince its inhabitants that they come in peace, a debate that could mean the end of SG-1.
Well, it's pretty much the debate they have at every planet they go to, right?
Yeah, we're here to help. No, you're not.
Like,
Okay.
We're pretty much masters at it by now.
It was that super cliche progressive versus conservative back
Yeah.
and forward, back and forward, back and forward, back and
New
forward.
ground.
Yeah.
Look, last week, Ashley O said that she loves this episode.
Top 7.
And she couldn't understand why.
And I agree. I loved the episode.
You liked it?
I loved it.
Okay.
It was a great episode. Top 7 as
I
well.
wouldn't say great.
I was pleasantly surprised. It's not one that I would go, oh yeah, I really want to watch Memento. It's just,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it's one of those season 6 ones. Skip it.
I want to watch the one where the Quadria hyperdrive dies again.
But yeah, I watched it and I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, this is a good episode of sci-fi.
You know
like
why
this.
I loved it so much? And it's because you could easily jump from perspective to perspective, and you could see it from each SG-1's point of view or Stargate Command's point of view, and these bloody, whatever they were called. Don't even care right now.
Hot air balloon people.
Hot air balloon weapon guys.
The blimp guys.
The blimps.
blimp
The
guys.
blimp weapon guys.
The blimpies.
Blimp machine guns. Yeah, and that's what I loved about it, is because, yeah, you could see it from this chairman's point of view where you're like,
Yeah.
hey, look, like Thor. We love Thor because, man, we want to trade with him. We want to be his mate. And then you can see it from this commander's point of view where he's like, we've been done by this shit before. We're scared of the Goa'uld world. We get it. You can see it from his perspective. And you can also see it from our perspective as a member of SG-1 where we're like, we understand your concerns, but it's all right. You trust us. We've got this. And then just the whole, give us access to your records. We'll find it. We'll get shit done. Like, it was, it was epic, man.
I like
loved
how
it.
too it goes, we found the Stargate, and he's like, that was easy.
Well,
Jack.
my friend Jonas here can
He
read
can
everything.
read everything.
Well, I mean, and Carter says she scanned from orbit and couldn't find it. It was 2 feet under the bloody ground,
Yeah.
but for
There were
some
cover
reason she
stones,
couldn't
mate.
find it.
Oh,
Cover stones.
there's
Cover stones,
concrete
yeah,
and
good
dirt.
call.
Like, yeah.
I think the main,
It's like
Prometheus, not as advanced as a shovel.
yeah,
totally in a crowbar.
I think the main highlight of this episode is the gate reveal, the unburial
Oh, yeah.
of the gate, and it is much like the movie, the way they bring it up and the sunset in the
Behind
background.
it. Yeah, perfect.
There's or the sunrise or whatever it was.
The sun.
The sun was in the background.
Behind it, yeah. It doesn't matter which direction it
Silhouette.
was going. It was
Doesn't
fucking
seem-
awesome.
Well, because it was daylight later on in the episode, so it's probably sunrise.
But it was,
bloody
it was
great
daylight
shot.
earlier on.
It was,
in
so
the
it doesn't
episode
make
as well.
sense.
So
Looks
it
good.
was midday.
Looks great.
Look, it could have been. It could have taken.
It was winter.
It could have taken
Winter solstice.
4 Earth years for it to go.
Say, just Google it.
We don't Google stuff, mate.
No, not here.
See, now for me, it was the opposite. It was the first half that I enjoyed more than the second half, probably because it was more like spacey sci-fi stuff. But that one shot where the Prometheus like ejects its hyperdrive, it explodes. There's that shockwave as the Prometheus is like pulling away from the planet, and the shockwave follows us. 26 f***ing hards watching. That is for
Yeah.
me.
26. I don't think I've ever had 26 hearts.
It's out of 10, mate.
That is out of 10. 26 hards out of 10.
Fair enough.
That is the most beautiful piece of CGI I have seen in this entire show to date. That was absolutely
I
spectacular.
don't know when that attack crashed. Was it a attack and skidded across the land where Cooper spent half the episode's budget? That was pretty epic.
Oh, the cargo ship.
Cargo ship. Yeah. Obviously, I'm joking.
Knocked around some trees. That was pretty great.
Gotta love some model work. No, I absolutely loved that. I could feel the shockwave. Like I think that's one of the reasons why we spoke about a few weeks ago. Why I like that chugging noise that the Prometheus makes. That woo, 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 woo,
Yeah.
it was
I
like
don't like
that
it.
with the shockwave.
The tugboat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's-
imagine
yeah.
that in
Honk, honk.
Dolby surround sound. That would have felt awesome.
It's annoying when they were having the standoff and the Prometheus comes over the top of the Stargate. I thought, and it was just continually going wah 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 through the whole scene. I couldn't concentrate on what
Oh,
the hell they were
really?
saying.
I didn't really notice it. To be
I
honest.
loved that, especially the Prometheus has got your 6 SG-1. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. O'Neill waits till he gets to the ground in front of everyone before he goes, "Hold your fire, Prometheus."
Where were the guns though?
Yeah, that's what I didn't get. Like, you look straight up and it's like, all the guns are on the side pointing out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
Why?
literally kill you under the Prometheus right now. You can't do shit.
They
There-
could have just kind of rested it behind the gate so you see the bridge almost and the
Yeah.
front
Yeah.
turret guns.
Or
are
even the
pointing out.
commander at a window looking out at
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
What up?
Well, and There was some bad writing with that, like from the condition of the Prometheus from the start to the finish. So this is at the start of the episode.
I would prefer not landing until we have our shields and weapons back online.
We should have systems back up within a few minutes, sir.
Within a few minutes. Then at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
They're holding 2 of my men prisoner. We need the ship.
Our shields are still down, Jack. If we take off and they open fire with those guns...
Ash One promised they wouldn't.
That was stupid.
It was really just an excuse for the president guy, the Ashwan guy, to be on the ship and be like, well, if we get blown up, I'm getting blown up with you too.
Because I thought,
solidarity.
the whole reason Ronson said, well, I don't want to land without shields and guns.
No, I think he just said guns without our weapons working.
I thought he said
It
shields
might have been
as well.
both, but
or systems.
But I don't think I think she only said, yeah, our guns are back up. Our communications never went down, so conveniently we can talk to them. But our guns are back up.
Radio's shielded.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
everything that blew up. Also, what was Tilk doing when he walked over and put his head against the wall?
What wall?
When the ship was blowing up after the...
Oh, yeah, he's good at turning off the steam.
Right.
Yeah, he had to go and turn off that valve.
Remember in the replicator one? Where they land on the planet full of replicators.
And natural selection.
Yeah, on natural selection, he just goes and turns off the steam. That's what he does.
Yeah,
in Tin Man, he
that's
turned
his
off
job.
that pipe. He loves steam. He's a steam guy.
No, he doesn't like steam.
He doesn't like
He's
it.
turning it off all
Get
the
rid
time.
of the steam, for God's
Stop
sake.
steaming up here.
You
Turn
want to
that
have a
down.
sauna, Tilk? Hell no.
No way.
Turn that steam
That's why
off.
it sounds
I'd
like
love to go into the sauna and turn it off, to be honest.
If it's an IR, sure, I'll get in there.
That's why it sounds like a tugboat, though. It's steam powered.
Totally.
Steamboat Mickey.
I'd love to see Tilk doing that. Shirt off. It's like wearing some like 3/4 pants. Just
No,
Overalls.
he'd be that big guy that's behind Mickey in that cartoon. Yeah, that'd be Teal.
What's his name? Bruno?
Oh, I don't know.
Something like
Just
that.
big guy.
The big unit.
I kind of had an issue at the start of this episode. I agreed with O'Neill the way he's like, oh, could just start running drills. But at the same time, he kind of was dressing down a colonel of equal rank, obviously, who's in charge of Prometheus.
Well, was he of equal rank?
Well, yeah, he could have been a
'Cause
brigadier,
there's-
colonel, whatever they are.
Yeah,
We
no,
called him Colonel.
there's colonel and there's a full bird colonel. So
Yeah.
I don't know if Jack is a full bird
Jack
colonel
would be
yet.
full bird.
Obviously, they
Absolutely.
didn't say that, but he's dressing him down in
Mm.
front of his entire bridge crew, and it's like if that happened to Carter or Jack, they would have just pulled them aside and go, "Don't fucking do that to me."
Yeah, but
See-
Jack does that to generals, and Colonel's not going to bother him.
See, that's what had me thinking that this was like Proving Ground 2.0. I thought for sure, like you said, Matty, you enjoyed the first half more than the second. I was the opposite because for the first half of this episode, I'm like, I don't want to see another, this is just a drill. Like,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, let's,
Yeah,
okay, this
right.
it was a drill at the start. He said, he goes, if this wasn't a drill, then this is what you would be doing.
Oh,
And this is the only
Proving
reason I'm
Ground's
here. With
Grogan.
Haley and
Yeah.
Grogan and all that.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
okay.
oh, shit, we got a failsafe.
SG-1 Junior.
Yeah,
It's a
what do they call it?
test.
What not the failsafe? What's the
Foothold.
Foothold. Yeah, foothold situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh shit, we got a foothold situation. Like that's what I thought this was when
Yeah,
they
okay.
actually took off in hyperspace and they drop out. They're like, how we drop out? They're like, oh, it's
test.
like it was almost like it was switched off kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, cool. There's a stowaway. There's a mole.
Yeah.
No, there wasn't a mole. Something just happened. And it's like, oh look,
Just shit.
there's a planet nearby.
There's
It
no
has
quadra.
it has a Stargate.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, really? And so they're going to make them negotiate with these people. They've already set this up weeks ago. It's just a big thing. Or they're like they're the Tok'ra, they're just wearing different garb. Because up until that point, you go back and rewatch it, SG-1 are leading the narrative. Every suggestion that's made is SG-1. It's not, what, Ronson? It's not Ronson
Yeah.
and his people.
Ron Swanson.
It's like when they run out of ideas, you have Jonas going, oh, maybe this could happen. And then Carter going, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. And
Yeah.
so they're sort of leaning them. They're suggesting, maybe you guys should do this. It's your call, but this would be a good thing to do. And it gets them to the planet based off SG-1 suggestions. I'm like, God damn it, this is just another drill.
Well, see,
and
you
then
know
you
what?
realize it's not. And I'm like, oh, okay, now I can
Yeah.
feel comfortable. I wish that I felt this comfortable 20 minutes ago because I was
Restart.
I didn't care about the episode, and now I do, and it's half over.
Which I found very convenient. I can't use hyperspace anymore. We're stuck. Oh, but there's a planet there 4 months away. Oh, we'll never make that. Oh, we can still use it, just not like
But
fully
why
use
won't
it.
they make that? Why haven't they got enough provisions?
Provisions for 4 months. Yeah, where are
It's
they
not
going?
that-
Around the block.
It was only a shakedown cruise, so they didn't have full
Yeah, but they're
provisions.
hundreds of light years away.
Yeah. Anything
Yeah,
can
but
happen.
Surely. And they didn't bring a spare anything.
No, nothing can go wrong, no.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
your maiden voyage.
Yeah.
Have you
Quadria,
seen
mate.
Titanic.
Calm the down. We got Nequadria.
Oh, they're
I
always
can just imagine that as second scene. Don't let go, Jack. Jack. There's enough room on that hot tub for two.
They're just happy to take those chances because they always think that the Asgard are going to be there to save their butts.
Yeah.
Just like rock up, be like, oh, we'll take you home again.
Yeah.
And then didn't they address
Well,
that?
he hasn't shown up yet.
Yeah.
Even that, I thought that was again them pushing the narrative, going, "Oh man, if the Asgard were around to help, they'd definitely be here by now. We better just act out on our own."
But I do like how Jonas kind of showed his superpower by memorizing the cartouche. He's like, according to the cartouche, there is a planet here, but we've never been able to make a lock.
Connection.
So it's like, how do you know all that? Obviously, superpower.
Superpower. Yeah.
He's awesome.
Sci-fi, just go with it, man.
Go with it, bro.
If you want a little background onto how this episode was created, have a listen to this.
Love it. That wasn't sarcasm.
I thought when you pitched this story originally that it was a very clever idea because traditionally we go to a planet, we convince the inhabitants that they're living a lie, as it were, to quote a South Park character, living a lie, and that they're worshiping a false god, and that's why they're technologically arrested. And so we usually have to talk them out of being loyal to a particular god, and then so that they can move on, progress forward. Do you want to talk about the pitch that you made?
Well, yeah. I mean, to be honest, there wasn't much of a pitch. I was working on another story when Brad said, we still have the sets up for the Prometheus, and we need a story, and so we started bouncing that around. And I think, we combined elements of ideas from a lot of people. Brad loved the idea of a shakedown cruise to the Prometheus. Rob loved the idea of raising the Stargate again, like in the movie. And I love the idea of getting paid to write a script. And so everyone...
So all those ideas came together.
It was like synergy. It was like meant to be.
There might be a future for us still, Brendan, in filmmaking. Like the fact they go, we've got the Prometheus set, it's still up, so we need a story set in there just so that we get some money's worth. Because Brendan and Rhys, when we were making our movies, it was like, man, we're going to our mate's house for the first time ever, and he's open to us. Let's write a scene so we can use his pool. Or it's like, hey, we've got toy lightsabers. Okay, sure, this is a grounded story about like low-level superheroes, but all of a sudden they have lightsabers because I own one.
Yeah.
Like it's whatever's
cool.
lying around. We need our surroundings.
Yeah, right
around the story.
What you've got, rather than don't get what you need for the scene. Right around what you got.
That was director Peter DeLuise talking to writer Damien Kindler, I believe.
That is correct.
Damo.
Big Damo, the big dog.
Kindler just
Deakin.
likes getting paid, so he'll just write whatever.
Absolutely.
You want me to write something about Prometheus? I'll do it.
I'll do it. You're going to pay me? Absolutely.
Shouldn't
write a two-part if you want.
Shouldn't the Prometheus be controlled by the Navy?
I often thought that because they kind of want it to be like it's a like an aircraft carrier type sort of situation.
Yeah.
Which are run by the Navy, and then the Air Force lands their jets and stuff on it.
Yeah.
So,
But it flies, guys.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's a ship.
Yeah, it's basically a launching platform for 302s.
Yeah.
So it's like really is an aircraft carrier, but the Air Force just doesn't want to share with the Navy, so they're like, you guys.
Yeah. We'd rather share with the Russians.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'd think that anything out there should be the Navy.
Well, there was a nice touch.
Because you're captain of every other sci-fi is the captain of a starship,
Yeah, but
or commander.
What kind of sci-fi shows there, Brennan?
Speaking of that, at the start of this episode, were they paying out the structured seriousness of like Trek actors? How they're like,
yeah,
prepare to,
yeah. Shouldn't they already be prepared?
Prepared to. I am prepared.
Yeah.
See how
that's
dramatic that is.
But just on what Brendan was saying, there was a nice touch with when they make contact with Earth, they're talking about a particular base on Earth, like a such and such base, and it's actually the space branch of the Air Force. So that was that. I think for me,
Space Force.
Yeah, pretty much. There was that nice little tie-in for me where the U.S. Air Force does actually have a space division. So that's what brought it back for me for them not being sort of Navy instead of Air Force.
It's just weird. I think. Like, this is the commander of the thing. It's Colonel dipshit. Like, Colonel? Well, you shouldn't be here.
Well, Colonel's kind of the Air Force equivalent of a Navy captain.
No, I get it. It just sounds stupid.
Well, captain's 2 or 3 ranks lower, so...
Yeah, but
in the Air Force,
not in the Navy.
Yeah, but they're in the Air Force.
That's what I'm saying. It should be the Navy.
Yeah, but even in the Navy.
I want to colonel my own ship one day.
Yeah, but in the Navy, a captain wouldn't get an aircraft carrier. A general would get an aircraft carrier.
You're thinking of pirates.
Yeah.
God damn it, I am Captain Jack.
Even
Colonel Jack Sparrow.
yeah, and even to throw back
Doesn't
to
make
Doesn't roll off the tongue.
this is a dig up to the old Channel 9 Australian TV show Sea Patrol that I've referenced a couple of times.
Hey, of course.
With old Lisa
shit.
McCune.
Hashtag Sea Patrol.
The captain.
It's trending already.
We nearly had that show come back.
Oh, I wish.
Lisa McCune picked up a lot of work
Yeah.
after you brought that back up.
We got another gold leg.
For season 3 of Blue Heelers.
Speaking of Blue Heelers.
The captain of that ship was Lieutenant Commander Mike Flynn.
In like Flynn.
They just called him boss. They didn't even call him captain or commander or anything like that. All these,
Australia.
Because Australia, they was like, hey, boss, there's something on the EOD. There's a ship approaching. There's a FFV, guys. There's an FFV off the port bow.
What the f***'s an FFE, Cap? I don't know, boss.
Foreign fishing vessel, mate.
Fishing vessel.
Oh, there's boat people again.
Pretty much.
Shoot 'em.
It was a 5-season show about shooting boat people, really, is what it was.
The government's like, this is too much like a documentary. Let's shut it down.
So bringing back an old segment, how hard was your dick? How hard was your dick, guys, when you saw that we'd built a set of rings into the Prometheus?
Yeah, that was fucking sick.
I thought that was super
Yeah,
clever.
that was cool.
Because it's like we can now connect to like any Hitzark, any base. Because they said a couple of seasons ago, it's like rings will find out the nearest set of rings. They'll search that out and connect. So we're just like, fucking take that, Goa'uld. We've got our own set of rings in our ship.
Bluetooth rings.
Yeah, we can ring down whoever we want, but we can also then connect up to your systems. And I'm like, that's
I was
really
thinking
clever.
in the next series, I hope they upgrade the gate room in terms of defense.
I think you mean the embarkation room.
Of course. But what they could do in instances like this is just drop down a ring platform with a exterior with like a glider and just boom.
No, that big armoured melt from
Inside.
Forever and a Day. That just
Yeah.
that just rings down to right in front of the gate ramp.
Yeah, I liked it as a bit of technology where, like, I saw it when they ring down in front of the commander when he's trying to take him hostage or whatever, and they ring down, Jack and Carter and old mate ring down in front of him. I was like, that's a show of power. Like, that's like Thor ringing into the meeting room.
That's it, exactly.
Like,
What we got.
I think that's why I loved it. That's what I mean, like, seeing it from a different perspective. Like, you can see it from our perspective where it's just like, yeah, that's an easy way to get down instead of stairs. Whereas from their perspective, it's like, holy f***, they just appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, what the f*** just happened? I give up. Yeah. Whatever you want.
Yeah, I don't know if it was necessary to have that whole extra through line with that planet about how they just destroyed their history. Like they only have written history going back 200 years or whatever it was. I don't know if all of that was necessary. I think they still would have got the same wow effect of being impressed by us. And it's like, well, we've got our entire kind of history. We never at one point decided not to record a history, to destroy history. And it took us forever to find the Stargate. So it was, I guess it was just a different way of just making a point of difference for this planet. But yeah, I didn't see it as a huge, there was no real payoff for me. Like, there was that one line with that one guy in the blanket that was helping out Jonas and Teal'c. It was like, oh, well, you're going to be a popular man now. And
he's going to
be bigger.
I think for the most thing, it was for that, what they call him, the chairman, to have a reason why to trust SG-1, to be like, they can help us find out about our past. That's what we want. We want to learn from, we want to find out our history and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess to my thought would be like, well, we kind of do that anyway when we tell people that, hey, guess what? You didn't grow up on this planet. You didn't grow here. You flew here.
Yeah, true.
Via Stargate. You actually all came from our planet.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I guess
that's true.
It is a nice way to change things
you're right.
up a little
Without
bit.
that, he didn't even really need that. He could have just been like, hey, these people from another planet want our help, and we'll help them.
Yeah,
a la Thor.
Because he was very progressive, whereas the military, like his military advisor guy that sort of tried to do that coup, was the very kind of conservative guy. It's like, no, make our planet great again, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But overall, I really enjoyed it.
Like, I know you said it before, Rhys, but about seeing it from different perspectives, like that. It was just a different way of doing the same sort of thing we have seen a bunch of times in this series so far, where you are following that military guy, and I'm like, man, I completely understand everything you're saying. Like,
yeah, it makes total sense.
Yeah, like even to the point where, like, when we've asked other species or not species, they're all humans, but for their historical records. Like, yeah, cool, here's some stuff, and it's like a nothing. It's just between scenes. We don't even really need to even see it on screen. In this, they make a big deal of like, we're not giving you that shit. You could use that against us. It's like, it's just, what are they going to learn from a couple hundred years worth of records?
Like, we would pile as many Egyptology books on whoever the wants them. Like, really, it doesn't mean anything. Yeah,
Here's Daniel's dossier. These are his notepads. Here, go and sort yourselves out.
Your boots.
Let us know if you find something we don't know.
And trust me, if you do, Daniel will show up and tell you about it.
Nice sweater, mate.
We get it.
Thanks.
But
got it at Suzanne's.
I think that's where it got me. Like, I liked this episode, and I liked every bit about it. Just overall, it was just like, yeah, the first half I felt like it was Proving Ground 2.0, and then it wasn't that. And then the second episode was, well, who's going to side with who? And, the military guy, stand down. Okay, stand down. Like, it just sort of wrapped up. It was sort of like, there's a lot of nothing going on, but I liked every little bits and pieces that made up the story. Like the fact, give us your history. Why should we give them the history? They could use this. I'm like, yeah, why has no one questioned that in the last 120 episodes? And in the military, like, a very political, like you said, it's make our planet great again type thing. Like, we see a lot of political divide and threats of civil war, like this guy's worried about in this episode, but not hey, look, I'm here to break peace with aliens, whether they be from other planets or another country or something. And no, I'm pro-military and them off our borders, fuck them right off out of our planet. It was probably the most political episode we've seen in many ways, and all squeezed into 20 minutes worth.
And
of
it was the two political, or the two the main guys on that planet up for political power, trying to win the
with
votes
ideological
of the people.
differences. Yeah, but I think the hardest part was that there wasn't really a resolution at the end. It's like, oh, okay, so the Prometheus is kind of stuck here for a while. We're going to be shipping parts back and forward so we can fix it, and then it'll start sort of shipping up. But it's like, that's not happening now, that's happening later.
Yeah.
But that does tie into the fact that they still, at this stage, still didn't know if they were coming back for a 7th season. So they were just trying to kind of set things up.
Now, at the time that the story was invented, it was still, we didn't know that there was going to be a 7th season. So this was also, the fact that getting the Prometheus up and running was also, moving towards the idea that the Prometheus was going to help us be a weapons platform in our last line of defense on Earth.
Yes, it's another arrow in the quiver of Earth fighting for freedom,
So I was like, yeah, okay. Fair enough. But yeah, I guess they were in a bit of a no man's land, which I guess is why Season 6 gets a lot of slack from fans. It's like, well, we've got this new Jonas character who's not Daniel, and then they're obviously in this sort of big amount of limbo of like, well, what are we doing?
Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty.
What are we building
around.
to? What are we doing to?
Yeah.
So
episode by episode.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of meh episodes in this season.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of things that just didn't happen or nothing went anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, a good foundation, never built up on it.
Yeah. They're obviously confused.
Is it meh in the sense that, like, do you feel like the distance between the best and worst episodes of Season 6 is a lot smaller than what other seasons have been?
Probably.
Because I haven't felt
for me, there's no wow episode yet. Apart from Unnatural Selection, I did really love that. But everything else is that.
What one was that?
The one with the replicators.
Yeah, there was a second one.
Right,
the human form.
Like, apart from that, nothing else really sticks out in my mind.
Oh, there's been good stuff like, the other guys, Cure and Allegiance. That was a nice little sort of run that we had there, but not a wow tentpole kind of episode. It's not a Fifth Race. It's not a Wormhole Extreme. It's not a Exodus or anything like that. It's just a good solid ep. But I think that's what this season lacked, was those big episodes. Full Circle, I think, does help that a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
At the end of the season. But yeah, so that's why I get little thrills like this when I go, oh, Memento might be something I'll add to some of my rewatches when I go, oh yeah, that is a good episode. So I can actually go back and watch that. Whereas normally I skip so many episodes out of this season.
I think the thing that always annoys me most about this episode, and I'm like, oh, this is the one where they eject the Quadria core and it blows up. But if they had have turned the ship 180 degrees and then jettisoned it, it would have gone away from the planet and you wouldn't have had this whole conflict anyway. So it's just, they had sublight engines, so there's no reason they couldn't do it.
They dumped it and then they turned away from the shockwave, like with that shot that I got 26 hards at.
So that's what kind of obviously this probably the CGI let it down more than anything, but it was
Didn't
just
go that.
that's what I remember in my mind, and I'm like, oh, so they had it's basically a storm in a teacup, the entire thing.
Yeah. I think it was their first attempt, and you can give me a that's two for this, but it was their first attempt at doing a Star Trek episode, basically. But
I kind of want to just give it to you because I mean you're making a solid point, you know. Like, nah, you gotta do it.
It doesn't mean as much when you ask us to give it to you.
But then they did pull a few things from other popular sci-fi movies as well as inspiration.
Starship Troopers.
Let's hope the old man is right. But this is going to be a short ride.
I hope that old man got that tractor beam out of commission, or this is going to be a real short trip. Okay, hit it!
Nice.
Very close.
Pick that up.
And then there was another one which I think Mitch might actually finally get this now. A bit from the start of the episode.
There's a red thingy moving toward the green thingy.
What?
Red thingy moving toward the green thingy. I think we're the green thingy.
The answer still remains no.
Oh, that was Galaxy Quest.
No.
Oh, I thought you'd done it.
No. Every time I see it's on TV,
Even Rhys has done it now.
Yeah, I watched it the other day.
Yeah.
One of the great movies.
Great. You're missing out, buddy.
Buzz Lightyear was in it.
Buzz Lightyear, Justin Long. Old mate that you Justin Hammer from Iron Man.
Sam Rockwell.
That was him talking just then. That was him doing the green
That's
thing.
why I thought it was Hitchhiker's Guide for a second.
Oh, was he in that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've worked it out, guys. The reason why I love this episode so much, it's because from the start, where Jack goes to see the Asgard and they say, you have the potential to be the fifth race, and we look up to them in awe and we go, man, that is epic. We want to be you. Like this, there's so much technology that you've got. It's so smart. You know a lot. And then in this episode, it's it goes through to we are now what Thor was to us. To this planet, we are who they want to be. We've got the technology. We've got the
So what you're saying is you'd like to watch a TV show that shows the potential that human beings
I'm going to cut
have
you off right there.
while exploring space, being their best.
Careful, mate. We're very early on,
Interesting.
and you've had two already.
Yeah, but no talking.
Oh, yeah, that's
Heaps
true.
more action.
Whenever there's just like talking heads, you kind of tune out. You need the bang bang stuff.
I need the bang bang stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
I sure do.
Hey, just a bit of housekeeping.
Where's the red dot?
Xvideos.com.
Just a bit of housekeeping. Chairman Ashwan, Beardy McBeardface, was the voice of Ratchet in the Bayformers movies.
Oh, right.
So Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. Ratchet was the yellow Humvee, the medical officer. And he was also Charlie Davenport in an episode of Gilmore Girls. Just thought I'd throw that one in there.
Thanks.
And then Colonel Ronson, Colonel of the Prometheus.
All right. The other.
So nice little tie-in to earlier in the season. He played Bolivar Trask in X-Men Evolution, along with all those other voice actors from earlier seasons.
Yeah.
Bolivar Trask being the character that Peter Dinklage played in X-Men Days of Future Past.
Right.
And
A lot of crossover between Stargate and
X-Men Evolution.
cartoons.
Yeah. Well, it's Canadian production. He was also Mitch. He was the sheriff in the Western episode of the season 1 of Legends of Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And
stick out, but
how's this for a crossover? He was in the pilot of Sliders.
oh god, what a show.
One of the great sci-fi shows.
I have about 20 episodes on my DVR that I'm going to try and see if they hold up, but I'm not game to press play.
No, they don't. They don't.
They don't.
That's what I'm really worried about.
I watched a full episode the other day where
Doesn't hold up, does it?
O'Connell's brother was the lead in this episode. He's terrible.
Who was?
Yeah, Jerry O'Connell's brother.
But he was just over the top overacting. It was
Yeah.
made me sick in the stomach.
It's not a good sign when Jerry
Hi, if you're
O'Connell is the
listening.
most talented actor in the family.
Oh, Tomcats, mate.
The Quadrius sucks. It sucks so bad.
Don't know.
I feel like everything from that planet sucks. So
I just love when you
That was
have
a-
like an
that was a Jonas-
from Jonas's
that was a Jonas
planet.
Stadium.
Right.
That was, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
when you have the aliens who they've just found out about us and about everything that we're doing that we want to do, and they're like, "Why would you use something so unstable?" It's like, well, yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
just giving O'Neill.
We're
the,
desperate.
Yeah.
That's what I've been
But
saying.
like, because the Quadria is so unstable, shouldn't they be like having a Stargate on the ship. I know you can't use it unless you're near some kind of celestial body, but perfect example of why they should have just had a Stargate on the ship.
Yeah. Or
do
at
they
least
do that going forward?
Or at least to back up something.
No.
I mean, even
backup light globe.
Even Apophis had a Stargate on the ship.
Yeah, right.
There's a reason for it.
And that worked out wonderfully for Rip-Off.
An iris.
I thought the insinuation there is it could only be used while in orbit of a planet that already had a Stargate, so you could use that Stargate's address. It would take over as the prominent gate.
Well, no.
So if we do have,
how did the ancients do it? And how did the Goa'uld do it?
Have you watched Destiny?
How did the Goa'uld do it? They just brought it. They just bring a Stargate to a planet and go, that'll work.
Yeah, and dump it on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, where there's already a Stargate.
Doesn't have to be one there.
No, but Apophis having one in his ship.
In his ship, he could dial it from anywhere.
No, they said he had to use the point of origin of whatever planet he was orbiting to be able to use his Stargate. Because remember, when we jump on board Apophis's ship at the end of season 1, we dial and then we send back the melt, and then the ship goes into hyperspace.
Yeah.
And then we try and dial
But
back.
if they break
on Earth,
down
it
like they
didn't
did,
work.
instead of going down to the planet to have to deal with them, we just ring out.
Well,
Just backdate out.
my assumption from the tech is that we would have to be in orbit of a planet that has a Stargate.
It does have a Stargate. It's buried.
At which point, why would we need a Stargate? Like,
so we don't have to go down. We just
Okay.
We just control it.
All right.
Convenience.
Cool.
Or no, just leave it, and then we'll just have to go through this whole episode again every week.
We have to prove your history to you before you let us use the Stargate.
You kind of onto something before when you were saying that we're assuming the role of the Asgard, because if you broke down on paper, dot point style, how arrogant we were in this episode. Like, we show up in this big off ship.
Yeah.
The first alien contact that they've had in centuries, that any of the living beings on that planet are aware of, is some monstrosity of a bomb right outside their atmosphere. So they fire up a missile, and then those aliens have
calm down.
They have the arrogance
Can you
of
just
saying,
waste them for us?
"Oi, can you turn off your missile? We come in peace." It's like, what about the big off supernova bomb? You just that was an accident. Okay, out of good faith, bang. But come on down right now, or those are going to blow you to hell up.
Oh,
okay,
those are our
come back
last
down.
2 missiles.
All right, now that we're here, we're going to need to search your entire planet for a thing that you don't even know that's here. We're going to use it for good, though. What is it? It's a super secret travel wormhole thing. Just get back to our planet. It's not a big deal. What is it? What's it made of? Pretty super powered thing that we kind of also blew up the planet. It's all related. Doesn't matter. We just need all of your history and all of your information on your planet. If you give that to us, we'll be fine.
Luckily, it's just 1K up from where you live.
Yeah. We don't know where it is. We're just going to go looking for it and take some of your people. Point those fucking guns away from our faces, or I swear to Christ, we will kill you till you're fucking dead. Till you're dead. It's like, what did they have to gain out of anything? It's like, that's what the Asgard do to us. It's like, we're here to help, but we're not going to. Call us when you need a favour. We won't answer the phone call.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
What's your number? Oh, not sure.
It's pretty impressive you say we're more arrogant than the times like we rocked up onto every single planet when everything you've ever believed is a lie.
Yeah.
We rocked up to the Nox planet and goes, we're here to save you. You guys can't protect yourselves. And they're like, no, we're fine. And we're like, no, we're here to save you.
Yeah,
And
look
they're
at you.
like,
You don't
"No,
even know
we're
how to cut
fine."
your hair properly. You haven't showered in,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, a decade. Clearly, you don't know how to look after
Yeah.
yourself.
you from here.
And then we rock up to Tanane's planet. It's like, nah, that's just a wolf, mate. Relax.
Calm down. You're talking to animals, you
Yeah,
idiot.
We're
What are you,
real.
Dr. Doolittle, motherfucker?
Now give us your medal so we can off of me, you crazy.
Let us make war with your mountain. But you're right. It is just the next level of arrogance. Just being like, well, we own this shit.
Now, we heard in the director chat before, and Deloise was talking about this was still when they didn't know whether they were going to get a season 7. So you think about the placement of this episode. Now, with a lot of these episodes, they are standalone episodes, so whether or not they know roughly where they're going to fall or exactly where they're going to fall in the story order, this is the third last episode of potentially a series. It doesn't, like you said, there's the elements of this with the Prometheus, that's there to build up to something, but the story overall is not a potentially third to last episode of an entire franchise. So I'm wondering whether they did know. And then the same with the Changeling last week. If Christopher Judge is trying to wrap up Teal'c's storyline, does he know roughly when that is going to fall in place? Because Tritonin, you would think, is a pretty big step forward or potentially a closure of Teal'c's storyline and the Jafar ongoing. This is the first episode since then. No mention of it whatsoever.
No.
So it was like it wasn't that big of a deal. Now, again, I haven't seen next week's episode or the week after for years, so I don't know whether it does come as being a thing, this horrible after effects, but you would think it's this big payoff, bang, Tritonin, you don't need to rely on Gould symbiotes anymore. And next episode, nothing.
Yeah.
He's just, and again, I know it's a standalone episode, but there's just no mention of the Tritonin at all. It's like, done, tick, close the box, we're done with that.
Maybe he
storyline.
drank it when he was turning off the steam.
That's and what a nice little full circle we come.
And potentially no resolution to the Jafar Rebellion, because the last we saw of the Jafar Rebellion, they were just like a bunch of dead bodies on a planet.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely would have been disappointing if this had been the final season and we got no resolution to any of that storyline.
I think the Tritonin itself could be a good resolution because it's an option there for any Jafar that wants to join the rebellion to then obviously become human per se
and not rely on the Goa'uld.
Not have to, so they don't just have to rip out their symbiote to kill them. Like it's, if they want to go into battle, they can go into battle. Otherwise, you can just take this and go live your life on a distant, faraway planet.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And not just spoiling for Rhys, as I like to say, going forward, it does become a good plot point for that in terms it is a way to get the Jafar out from underneath the Goa'uld, but it's also a way for the Goa'uld to exploit the Jafar. So it is a really good plot device moving forward. I think they treat it really, really well. Although I did notice in last week's episode, they said, well, we're still refining it. We're going to work on a way to free you from it, but Teal'c's on Tritonin for the rest of the series, But I do like the arc that it takes. They kind of just put him on the Tritonin and go, that's it, Teal'c's on Tritonin now.
Without knowing exactly what you mean, again, because I haven't seen the episodes for so long, but saying that the Goa'uld use it to hang over the Jafar, like the idea that, to parallel it with like True Blood, like the vampires that decide to drink like the processed, made up version of blood, and then like real blood comes along. It's just like the Goa'uld come along with a symbiote going, don't you want to stick this in your stomach? It'll make you feel good.
Faking,
yeah. Get that faking out of your system.
It's time for the Get Into Geek Harry
Mailbag. I've got a bit of a tweet here from the Jaybird. She's back.
Oh, Janie.
Janie.
That's the one. That's what I was...
Janie's got a gear. Finally got the chance to listen to the cast this morning. I have had I Am Thor stuck in my head all day with a bit of a gator gif there. Gator's going to gate.
Absolutely.
They're going to get you.
Yeah, I reckon that was stuck in my head for at least a couple of weeks.
Good. I'm happy about it.
I'm loving it.
Got a message here from, this is where I refer to Maddie's correct pronunciations, Viljavug.
Viljavug.
I don't know where he's from, how to pronounce it. I'm so sorry for butchering your name.
Either,
but what a fantastic name, and please let me know how to pronounce it properly. Absolutely. Ongoing. Hello, gentlemen. I like him already. Though considering your jokes, I can't imagine you being particularly gentle. Well, you'd be
Stop
correct.
it.
Well, depends how big the guy is.
Potentially not men either. So,
I've been supporting your sorry excuse for a podcast for 6 months now and finally decided to get my money's worth in airtime. Long-time lover of Stargate, # Infinity Forever. Not really. God, that was shit. And found your podcast after breaking up with my girlfriend. Didn't need her anyway. And needed some company for those long, lonely nights in bed.
Oh,
that's where I do my best work.
That's probably why I liked Maddie so much. He seemed like the cuddliest of you lot.
I will cuddle the
shit.
Yeah, no one's arguing with that.
I was
well, we get the best
high school, I was called the human beanbag. Thank you very much. That's how cuddly I was.
And it wasn't because you were like a beanbag.
You love to cuddle.
People like to touch your beanbag.
Yeah.
The human beanbag.
And Maddie knows about that because at the end of every podcast, a little bit of behind-the-scenes information.
The
We'll go up, give Maddie a cuddle, and just grope him.
Squeeze the beanbag.
Squeeze the beanbag. Gentle.
Sometimes you'll wake up in the middle of the night in your own bed and Maddie's just cuddling you.
Just spooning. Look, I don't mind. Some days I want to be big spoon, some days I want to be little spoon. I don't mind. Actually, I do have a story time that I might get to for that for Patreon.
God, what a weird... I'm interested already.
Maddie's got a spoon collection.
And bought some new spoons from Kmart. It's a great story.
Good news, Viljar says.
Inherited some great spoons.
Since finding a new significant other, my head is all cleared now and see that Maddie is mostly full of shit.
Oh, come on.
That's true too.
This is a stitch-up.
We are the significant other.
Make sure you keep calling him out on it and poking him with hot spikes, verbally, but also physically, which would make for a great Patreon exclusive. Imagine that whole video.
Mate, poke him in the right spot and I'll welcome him.
The pouch poacher.
Star Trek sucks, he says. The Discovery is kind of okay.
That is the most untrue statement ever uttered.
Sorry, just filling in for Lincoln while he's not here. This time, for real. Glad you figured out that Jonas isn't actually that much of a dipshit. Keeping up the good, or at least funny work, and looking forward to when you get to the classics like Heroes and Lost City. Shout, kick, and then run.
I die free.
Absolutely. Sensational.
Yeah.
Vilja.
I've got a little one here for Brendan. He's been doing great.
Yeah,
He's been our social media slut lately, just posting stuff like crazy. Just trying to get us to go viral, you know? Just trying to...
We'll get one day.
Brendan's been trying to make people get viral for years.
Whether they like it or not.
Whereas I've been successful
most of the time,
way before social media was invented.
So
Probably
he's...
a side note, though, like most of the time I go to the doctor and I go, I reckon this could go viral.
And he goes, let me take a picture of it then.
This has gone viral, but not in the way you think.
So,
get plenty of likes.
So from now on, like every time I go to a new doctor, I say I got a problem with my penis. They're like, "What?" I'm like, "Just have a look."
It's not big enough. It's not big enough.
What's wrong with it?
It's small.
Hasn't been touched by enough doctors.
It's gone innie.
That's the issue.
It's gone innie. What do I do? So yeah,
That happened.
so Brendan's been having a crack at the old meme, trying to do some memes, and he's put up a picture of some of the universe cast: TJ, Chloe, and Eli. Where did I pull that from?
I don't know.
And the meme
Oh, you
being,
must Google things.
No, just then staring at them, I went, "Oh yeah, that's TJ, that's Chloe, and that's Eli."
That makes sense.
Next possible Stargate series: Stargate Friend Zone. Bit of a laugh, bit of a fun. I like that Rhys laughed because he's got no context for it whatsoever.
Because he looks like a guy that he's in the friend zone constantly.
Stuck on a ship with...
And they look like chicks that would put him in the friend zone.
Yeah.
Oh, and they do. So we were just having a bit of fun with that. But Nicole George didn't like it. She just replied, no.
No. Oh, because she doesn't like that as an next...
Yeah, next possible Stargate series?
No.
No. Computer says
I'm answering your question.
Yeah, we weren't actually putting the question out there like, what do you think, yes or no? And what it depends on what your vote is what we'll do.
Look, it's okay, mate. People on Facebook.
But that's okay.
Awesome.
We're gonna forward that to Brad Wright just so he doesn't get any shitty ideas.
Yeah. Just in case you're thinking of doing that, don't.
Oh, I reckon that'll be a good sitcom.
It would actually. Canned laughter.
We need some of that.
Hey girls, how about a threesome?
Womp womp.
I was re-listening to some of our early season 6 episodes the other day, and I heard us mentioning in the Frozen chat that the one thing missing from that was bugs, ice bugs, that kind of thing. And then it made me realise, well, Ayana, she had a virus. That's just microscopic bugs.
Was a bug.
Cooper worked bugs into it. Anyway.
Microscopic frozen bugs.
Yep.
Sensational.
Frozen.
Daniel Smith has got in contact with us on
Danny
the
boy.
on the Facebook. I've got a
Smitty.
couple of things wrong. He's recommended us on Facebook. Daniel Smith, D. Smith. He says, best Star Trek podcast with up to 3 Stargate references per episode. And the amount of love for Robert C. Cooper is unbelievable.
Oh, I hope you got tagged in this.
Really, though, best Aussie podcast about Stargate with 4, sometimes 5 mates having a laugh and loving the big old orifice.
Big old orifice,
And it's just got a picture of Robert C. Cooper there. I can only imagine it's on his 17th birthday without a date to prom. Just after he woken up, by the look of him.
That's the photo his mum's got above her fireplace when you go into her lounge room. This is my son, Bobby.
He's an executive producer.
Just got a promotion
on the space show.
You tells everybody. Try the roast beef.
Iris closed.
So, look out.
I'm actually behind the Stargate this time, just so I'm completely out of dodge.
I'm just lying down.
I'm right away down, you can just crouching down.
With a gun, if they start shooting, you just shoot them in the back.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm lying down
Perfect
under
spot.
the ramp, guys.
I'm in the shitter.
Where are you, Mitch?
I'm pinned up against the wall.
Oh.
Tell Carter to get off you because you got work to do.
Get off me, for God's sake. I know you love me.
Hi, guys. It's your favourite big honking homosexual, Scotty Flash.
Got it.
I'll
Show
send
me
you
your
an
biceps.
off-world activation since you've given me a shout-out on your show already. Sorry it took me so long. This is some pretty advanced technology I'm dealing with right here.
Absolutely.
See what I did there?
I did. Saw that.
I just wanted to say thank you for the compliments on my arms and your
You're welcome.
You've earned them.
speculation that I might be a bit of a whore.
There's no speculation.
Just so you know,
We
in
know.
drag queen circles, what you did is called reading me for filth, which means saying something devastating, hilarious, and, importantly, completely true. How dare you?
I'm going to write that down.
If you want to know more about my sluttery and my love of cock and bum fun, then have a listen to my podcast, which is called Probably True, and is available from all good podcast places.
Excellent.
Speaking of, thanks for mentioning me winning a British Podcast Award. It's great to have congratulations coming in from all around the world.
Oh!
See, Matty, it's not difficult. Pull your finger out. Anyway, you guys were talking about wanting to win a random award, and
Yes.
as an award winner, I thought I'd grant you one myself. It worked for Brienne in Game of Thrones, so why not? So,
Perfect.
Default.
congratulations on winning the first ever Transcontinental Podcast Award for current affairs, or lawnmower maintenance, or something. Choose your own title.
Mitch would
I suppose.
actually love that award.
Anyway, stick that on your website. It'll look impressive, and no one will ever check. Believe me. Just to get serious for a moment, though, you guys do deserve some recognition. I think I speak for all your listeners when I say, honestly, Origins.
Yes.
All right, I'm done. Godspeed, bitches.
Well done, Scotty.
Scotty.
Just so refreshing to have a professional in here for a change.
Absolutely. How are those levels?
A bit weird to have a
I was,
professional in here.
honestly, I was watching them, and they were so consistent.
Yeah.
You want-
So a couple of
do,
10
do you
hearts.
give lessons, Scotty?
things, Scotty. You would never actually ask me to pull my finger out once it
Yeah,
was
exactly.
in, mate.
No.
So
Oh,
just
see
be
what you
careful
did
there. And secondly, definitely give his podcast a listen. I've been listening to it for the last couple of days. They're great, just little 10-minute chunks. Some stuff would make
10
us.
minutes, 9 minutes too long for me.
Some stuff would make us blush.
Little sex
Like
joke there for
it's
you.
Not me, mate.
it's pretty loose.
Not
Some
me.
of his podcasts.
Take a lot. Have you heard Gibson Brothers podcast? Fucking hell.
And thirdly, Scotty, I just wanted
I can't wait.
just on that drag queen reference about reading you to
true.
filth. Does that make you trade? Can you just let me know if in drag queen circles you'd be considered trade? You can tweet me or Instagram me or whatever it is. I'm just
Bit of behind the
You
scenes
just,
gear
want,
there.
you just want Scotty to slip into your DMs there, mate.
Oh, I'll be bragging about that for weeks.
Look at this stud.
Probably true.
Wants to jack me off again.
This guy, he's seen me biceps in the profile pic.
Wants me to pull my finger out again.
Might as well. I'm a bit of a whore.
How good does the word whore come from that accent, too?
Yeah.
Oh,
Brilliant.
like that's an upper class.
He's
whore.
got some Ricky Gervais to him, I reckon. Just that real nice, sort of dry, but then just cutting humour. I love it.
Even at the end there, where I thought he was really setting us up there for he was looking all seriousness. I'm like, oh, okay. He goes, on behalf of the listeners, I'm like, oh, we're going to get some kind of origins.
Perfect.
Not the compliment I was hoping for, but one I'll accept.
His podcast is like that, actually. There's a lot of really funny stuff there, and then it's like an episode of Scrubs. He's just like funny, and then just hits you with like some real like genuine stuff, and it just makes you sort of think, and you're like, I wasn't expecting
back
that.
on Ricky Gervais, just like
Yeah.
Afterlife. You're like pissing yourself, and all of a sudden, you're like, oh,
I do
I mean,
like
a minute
the rim
later,
job.
I'm
I mean, I hope you
depressed.
like Ricky Gervais, Scotty. Otherwise,
Yeah, that's
I
all
think
good.
Scotty's a bit
couple
more
words.
articulate than Ricky Gervais, to be honest. Big fan of Ricky, but
Ricky Bobby.
articulates well. Big Scott dog.
pronounces the Queen's English correctly. Is what the
That's what I'm
Gervais
yeah.
is a bit of a
something.
Whereas Scotty is.
You just call
more
Scotty
like
a queen?
the Queen. He is the Queen of England.
Queen of England.
He's our queen.
Queen of the Commonwealth.
Got a few emails here from Arnold Rimmer.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah,
Does he know
he's
Scotty
gotta be good.
Flashart?
Obviously.
No, a bit of a crossover. Arnold Rimmer's a character from Red Dwarf. So another sci-fi show you guys.
Mate, I
probably
don't
haven't
think
seen.
they like being called dwarves.
No.
It's the dwarf. It's a dwarf star.
The the subject for this is I love you.
Aw.
And
Thanks, Rim.
it's more of a vine than anything.
Arnie?
The
Hey, Rim.
first, the
Oh, what?
first one is Rhys, your father made you wrong.
Oh, you, Arnold.
Then he goes on to say, f***ing wrong. This is in email form too.
In
so
a
it's not
separate
just-
email.
It's not just...
We've received this in the post.
First email was just Rhys, your father made
Yeah, that
you
was
wrong.
Right.
7:43, and so at 8:05 p.m. he's right f***ing wrong. 8:07
What,
p.m.
20 minutes later?
8:07 p.m. Very, very f***ing wrong.
He's stewing on this.
8:09 p.m. Very, very f***ing wrong.
Wow.
And then at the end, 8:33, some c- has eaten all the chocolates. Ah!
Are we sure that's not Corin Nemec? Because that's how he tweets.
Might
That's
be.
true. I hope it is.
Yeah, sub in chocolate for donut, and that's totally corky.
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
Loose as a goose.
Wonder what Arnold drinks.
I think the question is, what doesn't Arnold drink?
Yeah, that cheap wine at the back of the cupboard.
Yeah.
That's great. Arnold Rimmer, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rimster.
On the
Rimstar.
on the tweet, we got a tweet from Ramati Boy, and I think it was in regards to Politics 2.0 disclosure. He says that episode was rubbish. I turned it off and watched DS9 instead. I'm sure your podcast will be much better.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. They barely are. Sure, bro.
Well done. Thank you, Ramati Boy. And then Damo Edwards backed it up on the Tweety Tweets as well. Just a little shout out to Stargate Command. He says the Stargate Command app needed updating. Next, it wanted the password changed. Done that, and it wanted me to resubscribe. $20 a year. That. I'll stick to Get Into Gate. At least I get more and way better content at Gibson Bros Pod.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Hashtag Stargate Command.
That is one of the great hashtags.
That's a hashtag I
trending.
can get behind.
That's got to be a Bundy tweet right there, doesn't it?
Hashtag Stargate
And saying
Command.
that, if Stargate Command ever want us to come on board and fix the whole thing, I mean, that we're open to.
Oh, we're here.
Let us know.
We're
Pay
open
for our
office.
flights and accommodation,
Yeah.
please.
Obviously.
We're here to hashtag Stargate Command for you. So,
And we'll
Yeah.
do it. I mean, if we can make the trending hashtag get f***ed, like I'm pretty sure we can
Yeah.
do wonders for
Fuck
Stargate Command. Get
You know,
in
the thing
contact
that
with
annoys
us.
me about that the most is that Stargate Command could have been the next series, but they've tainted that.
yeah. Well, it was
Yeah.
going to be. They were going to rename the series
Yeah.
in season 8, and it was not going to be called Stargate SG-1 anymore. It was going to be called... Sorry, no,
Stargate.
season 9. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
9
called,
and 10.
Stargate Command.
Which they could still do, I think. But
Yeah.
they can't name it Stargate Command now.
Dave Clark's got in contact with us via Facebook.
Clarky.
He says, I'm currently listening to episode 100, and I had to write this email. I've always been a high-pitch fan.
Hey! I'm waiting for a butt, though. There's a butt here, isn't
No,
there?
it just says, I thought the rest of you guys were being too harsh on him for liking Star Trek.
But
after that episode, mate, you talk about being such a huge Star Trek fan but hate Discovery. You deserve all the shit you get.
Twice in one episode.
Keep
This
up
is
the good
magic.
work. Best, Dave.
I used to hate Discovery, and now I'm really apathetic about it, and I just don't want it in my life. If you get something out of it, go for
Well,
it.
you still
but-
don't hate watch it?
No, it's not on.
Well, yeah, but...
Oh, I watched season 2. It was
Yeah.
a little bit better than season 1, but it's still not for me.
Yeah.
But all the Star Trek series, all the modern ones, Next Generation, DS9, Voyager, all got massive hate when they first came out.
Yeah, right.
Like Next Generation, which is the Patrick Stewart one, which is arguably the most popular.
Yeah, it is.
People
the most
blew
popular.
up in the 80s. It's back in the 80s. People writing hate campaigns like, it's not Shatner, it's not the original Trek, blah, 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 and now it's everybody's favourite.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you get something out of Discovery, go for it, but I think it's shit.
I just don't like
It's
it
not
because
Shatner.
it's a prequel and they talk like it's not 2019.
Yeah, there's just too many inconsistencies for the timeline. I'm not about it.
Yeah, I just
Clarky.
ruined it for me because it's not in the timeline. It just
Yeah.
doesn't fit for me.
Yeah, and this is coming from a guy who's only seen like half the shows. So
I've seen them all except DS9. and Enterprise.
Arguably the best, mate. I went to the DS9 documentary by myself a couple of weekends ago. 25th anniversary.
What does that mean?
So the creators of Deep Space Nine did a 25th anniversary documentary, and it got
released it
got a
at cinema.
theatrical release.
Go home.
So I went out to Stafford. Went out to Stafford by myself a couple of Saturday nights ago with a bunch of random Star Trek fans, and we sat there and watched it. I didn't cry though. I was really
Did
expecting.
you all dress up?
No. Oh, one guy did. I think one guy did.
Look, this has got to be at least 2 in 1.
I got nothing else, so I'm fine.
I mean,
with that.
between mowing lawns and Star Trek, I'm bored out of my fucking arsehole.
Scotty?
Scotty!
Is that...
Oh, put your finger back in. So I got
jump
thinking,
into the-
oi.
Is this a second? What?
2 in 1.
This is
That's
unprecedented.
it. Go home.
Headphones back on now.
Didn't realise we had this much time.
Hello, fellas. This is Kenneth Pricer here.
Okay,
I
Bryce.
was playing around with my Amazon Echo today, and I came across this little gem. Maddie, get your head out of the gutter, because when I say I was playing around with
Just
it,
sitting
I was
here.
talking to it. Anyway, I came across this little gem and thought I would pass it on. Echo, play the latest Get Into Geek podcast.
Playing the latest episode of Get Into Gate, a Stargate podcast
No way.
from iHeartRadio. Episode 128, Disclosure, SG-1 6.17.
Oh, stop it.
How good's that?
That's 14 hards.
Oh, Jesus. Sensational.
K-Price, mate.
K-Price with the
K-Price.
goods.
Oh, we should have got him to do. Remember, someone else said you can set like the self-destruct on your Alexa.
No, this is an Echo he's got.
Oh, okay.
Sensational K-Price. Love it.
Episode 100. Oh, and I don't need that guy. Jesus, I sound more nasally over several different speakers and recorders there. Holy
Inception.
shit. Wow.
Before we go into has Rhys been paying attention, I just want to say that I have been paying attention, so not necessary this week.
Okay, we'll skip it, eh?
Thank you, mate.
Sweet.
Not necessary. I know
Save
everything.
yourself having to write 5 questions there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you've already done it.
Herewhere, they've been to 133 planets. Ronson was the colonel's name. They went to P3X744. And it was buried under.
I got one for you.
What episode did they reuse the shot of the hyperdrive being ejected?
It's going to be in the future.
No, remember
Trick question.
Prometheus? Remember when we ejected like Colonel Simmons? And he got floated out into space. Remember when Jack opened up the the airlock and flew him out into space
And fought the vacuum of space with one hand.
Yeah,
Mm.
it was actually just they just reused. They just clipped Simmons out and put the hyperdrive in.
Did we see Simmons going into space that episode?
Yeah, Prometheus.
Remember when he was taken over by the Gould?
Yeah, I know the
with
episode.
Jack?
I just thought we saw him go out the back door and we didn't see a wide shot of
No,
the...
there was a shot of him just being floated into space.
So this will be next try wins. According to Teal'c, how many planets has SG-1 been to?
133.
Correct.
If you rewind the tape, you'll know that that's one of the questions I already
Listen to
answered.
you, mate. Memento is also a name of a movie. Name an actor
5
from
out
that
of
movie.
5. Pew, 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 pew.
Did you name the actor from Memento?
Oh, Guy Pearce.
Correct.
Joe Pantoliano.
See, I told you. I was
That
paying
goes to
attention the whole
How can he
time.
be
Don't need it.
Memento if he's dead.
Oh, look, if I want to watch a really good Guy Pearce movie, I'll just go watch 33 Postcards.
Were you? I didn't hear a word of that. Were you tuning
Sorry,
on
I
a
was-
bloody fantail or something?
Sorry, that was-
Scotty Flash.
That was me. I'll zip it back up.
Well, it's funny you say that. I got a big red snake this time.
Yeah.
I said, no, if I want to
You
watch
chewing
a
on my
really
again.
if I want
That won't make the cut either.
if I want to watch a really good Guy Pearce movie, I'll go and watch 33 Postcards,
Oh,
buddy.
Count of Monte Cristo.
What?
I still haven't seen that.
One of the Van Helsing.
Well, no,
Every Aussie actor except Guy Pearce is in
Iron
it.
Man 3. One of the
But
great
the point
shows.
was, Lincoln was in 33 Postcards. Is it,
Oh, no. We
clearly,
haven't
these
seen
two
it.
haven't seen it.
No, obviously I haven't seen.
Didn't know
Good
about
flick.
it. You didn't tell me.
Haven't
Big
seen
fan.
that Jack Irish either.
You know what? I think even Lincoln assumed that the other week he reminded me, I did this movie one time with Guy Pearce. And anyway,
Someone where he crashed the beamer.
behind the scenes, and Sarah goes, "Do you mean 33 Postcards?" He goes, "Oh, do you know that movie?" And I'm like, "Yes, you f***ing started it. We follow you. I've got a section in my DVD, like everything in my DVD collection is chronological." In the L section is every movie Lincoln's been a part of, right?
that's cute.
I'm the cutest older brother ever,
For
right?
Lewis.
That's adorable.
Yeah, for Lewis. It's a joint thing, obviously. Like he wouldn't be there if it
And
wasn't for
Boxer
me.
Boys are in the end there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, chronologically, that came first. Link, remember where you got your start. Remember who gave you your start, mate.
Do you have tricky business, though?
I do. No,
Ah.
sorry, I'm thinking House Husband, season 3.
No.
I don't have Tricky Business.
Oh, I see. I've got Tricky Business on DVD.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, Gigi Edgley from Farscape is his co-star.
See, all comes back to sci-fi. It all works.
Full circle.
Yep, bang. All right.
And if you want a good look at Lincoln, that's the TV show where he gets full naked and has to cover himself with a cushion. So ladies,
Oh, mate, underbelly razor.
ladies and Scotty Flashheart, jump on board.
Jump into Rhys's bedroom later and you'll find that out too.
Private.
Head up Rhys's place in grade 11.
Check out Rhys's secret calculator in his phone. You'll find some good videos.
It's not secret.
Just discovering each other. All right, that's episode 131 of Get Into Gate, Memento. We will be back next week for my favourite word, penultimate episode
Love
of
it.
Season 6, Prophecy.
Won't be your favourite episode, mate.
Now, last week, Rhys, you had a Teal'c episode. Next week, you have a Jonas episode. I'll leave it
sensational.
at that.
It's all coming together.
And potentially, probably, Daniel Free and All About Jonas. So it's all happening.
Oh, thank
It's all
God.
coming up, Rhys. Until
Joe
then.
and Paul wrote it too, so that's something else.
Oh, so it's on base.
Yeah, and they reckon it's the best episode they wrote this season.
Probably.
Wouldn't be hard, would it?
Last one was Disclosure, guys.
Glad you said that.
Thor was in it.
Last 2 minutes were great.
And if you love Get Into Gate, and after you want a memento, long after we've finished doing podcasts, jump onto patreon.com/Get Into Gate.
Could get a giveaway.
Yeah, you could get
giving
given
away
away.
a mouse pad, Stargate mouse pad, which we'll draw at the end of
Legit
July.
circle.
Mouse pad.
Get Into Geek.